here's your guide to the ACT English passage. So first off, hopefully you were able to watch the video on subject-verb agreement, which is an important rule in the ACT passage. Also, hopefully you remember the 4 comma rules, commas in lists, commas in 2 or more adjectives, so like hairy, funny, silly, girl, or something. Commas in a compound sentence. So that's 2 independent clauses combined. We have done a grammar lesson on it. Comma after introductory phrases, so that's dependent clauses. Remember, like subordinate conjunctions that we've learned about. And finally, I'm just adding one. This is my own, Miss Hermanson's tip. Suitcase clauses. So a suitcase clause is when a phrase is surrounded by commas. So like the girl running down the hill tripped and fell. So a suitcase clause means that if you take the commas, like by their handlebars, and take it out of the sentence still makes sense. The girl tripped and fell. That's what a suitcase clause is. So those 5 things can help you remember the grammar rules. So let's read through this. I am going to do this for the next 8.5 minutes, so hopefully I get through most of it, but this is your explanation. So I'm going to start off by reading and then just stop with every underline. Raptors or birds of prey cannot afford to be grounded for weeks waiting for a large number of flight feathers to regrow. They must be able to fly if they are to hunt and eat. Raptors, including eagles and hawks, therefore normally shed their feathers slowly, 1 or 2 at a time. 61. The writer wants to describe the way raptors shed feathers. Which choice would be most consistent with the way the feather shedding process has been described up to this point? An all-at-once blizzard? No, they shed slowly. Not that one. Often losing them in clumps. Leaving them flightless for long periods of time. No, it's definitely A. The premature loss of a flight feather to injury, then, is not an incidental matter to raptors, most of which are diurnal. So when it just has this, that means it just wants you to pick. Most of which are mainly active during the day. That is diurnal. Daytime hunting is not an incidental. I don't really feel like whether or not they hunt during the day is necessary. And remember, less is more. Shorter is better, especially when in doubt. If a feather breaks off with the stub of its hollow quill shaft still in place, the bird's body mistakenly believes the feather is whole. Only when the quill socket containing the stub is empty will a new feather grow. Okay. Which of the following alternatives to the underlined portion would not be acceptable? Feather is whole. Feather is sound works. Feather is complete works. Feather is total works. Feather is intact. Mistakenly believes the feather is sound. Feather is total. That one doesn't work very well. Quills are hollow, so the removal of a quill stub before it is ready to be naturally shed would be very painful to the animal. Quills are hollow. Given that all of the choices are true, which one most clearly provides a reason for the statement that follows in this sentence? So the removal of a quill stub before it is ready to be naturally shed would be very painful to the animal. I don't know that hollow would equate to being painful. I think fasten deeply would make something painful. 65. So the removal of a quill stub before it is ready to be naturally shed would be very painful to the animal. I think that makes sense. It is the shortest. It makes the most sense. Bird rehabilitators, therefore, treat broken raptor feathers through imping, the implanting of a new feather into the quill stub. To the following alternatives to the underlined portion would not be acceptable. This one. because the implanting of a new feather into the quill stub is not a complete sentence. It doesn't make sense by itself. The bird rehabilitator begins by determining which feather has been damaged. On each wing, all flighted birds having 10 primary flight feathers. Oh look, there's a suitcase clause thing I was talking about. Each one shaped slight different. You can see I already think it's an LY. Okay. On each wing, all flighted birds have 10 primary flight feathers. So, I think you could go with have 10 primary flight feathers, comma, each one shaped slightly differently. If the left number 7 feather is broken off, the rehabilitator selects a number 7 feather from a collection kept exclusively for imping. If necessary, a number 6 or 8 feather can be carefully trimmed with small scissors to the shape of a number 7 feather. The writer is considering revising the preceding sentence to read as follows. If necessary, a number 6 or 8 feather can be cut to the shape of a number 7 feather. If the writer did this, the sentence would primarily lose a sense of how limited, if it's necessary, number 6 or 8 feather can be cut to the shape of a limited rehabilitators' feather collections are. Delicate the work being described is. Different each of a bird's flight feathers is. Easy it is to replace number 7 feather. Number 8 feather can be, I think difference of each of the bird's flight feathers. The quill of this replacement feather is trimmed so that when the replacement feather, well, and I think they'd lose, like that's an important thing, but if like we took that off, it doesn't really show limited rehabilitators collections, and it doesn't really talk about how it's easy. Anyway, the quill of this replacement feather is trimmed so that when the replacement feather is eventually attached to the quill stub, still in the bird's body, the repaired feather will be equal in length to the original whole feather. Equal in length, that's too wordy, so will equal in length, be equally long, equal the length. That's shorter and it makes sense. Next, the rehabilitator whittles, next, a bamboo chopstick to duplicate the curve and slant of the complete feather shaft. He or she then inserts the carved chopstick into the quill stub. After sliding the shaft of the replacement feather over the sturdy light bamboo stick, glue, just a touch, is applied. That's definitely the shortest and makes the most sense. The raptor now has a rebuilt functional feather. Eventually, it will be... Which of the following alternatives to the underlined portion would not be acceptable? Feather. Eventually it will be shed, allowing a new complete feather to grow in its place. So that would work. Nope, this would not work because it only has commas, so that would be a run-on sentence. Okay, so I'm going to stop there, and now I'm going to come over here and double check my work. Okay, so first I have 61, I have A, good. 62, I have G. 63, C. 64, G. 65, A. 66, H. 67, D. 68, H. 69, C. Oh, no, I missed that one. 70 is H. Uh-oh. Missed that one too. Darn it. 71 is A. 72 is F. Nope. It's J. What? Missed that one. 73 is B. Well, guys, I lost my ACT test taking mojo. So let's come back over here and try to figure out why I missed them. Okay. So 69. They said it was B. delicate the work being described is. I don't really agree with that, but okay. I guess because they can be cut to the shape of a number 7 feather, so that is delicate. This one is actually F, be equal in length, will equal the length. Oh, you know what? I didn't read 2, because the repaired feather will equal the length to the original whole feather, and that wouldn't make sense. So it should be equal in length because of 2. 72, glue just a touch. It's actually J. The light bamboo stick. After sliding the shaft of the replacement feather over the sturdy light bamboo stick. Oh, that's just because this is passive. When in doubt, you want to go for active. So who is doing it? And the answer is, it's the rehabilitator. So that's why it's J. Okay, I did not do 74 and 75, but that's just because I ran out of time. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed me making a mistake. How do I pause it? Oh, there we go.